The Lord is our shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh I lie down in the green pastures. Him leadeth I beside still water them. Him restoreth I soul. Him leadeth I in the path of righteousness for him name's sake. Yea! Though I rasta, I go walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I can't fear no evil. For thy rod and thy staff them comforted I and I. Un prepare a table before I in the presence of our enemy them. Un anointed I head with no oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy. I go follow I all the days of I even. Me I go dwell in the house of the Lord God. Jah. Kadamawe gromabe atela Higzag beer Tanaistalin Abba shante 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 tete shante 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 atela where two and three meeting in the name of the Most High Jah. That's so Jaja there. If Jaja never build up your house, the builder I go build it in vain. Same way, if Jaja never watch upon your house, the watchman I go watch it in vain. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and them is safe. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Jah shall deliver him from all of them. And I give thanks and I says unto your name, King of kings and Lord of lords, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. Our mouse of Bolisa, a down water, ewo a sick play a four. Our mouse of Bolisa, a down water, ewo a sick play a four. Our mouse of Bolisa, a down water, ewo a sick play a four. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High Jah shall therein abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Ya Allah, Ya Muhammad. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the Black Pot, a.k.a. Kukushunamo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk Rasta. Now, in every traditional African home, there is a black pot. And each time this black pot rests on the fire, there is something sumptuous cooking. Now, the black pot represents the continent of Africa, whilst the ingredients in the black pot represent us, the citizens on this wonderful continent of Africa. Much as we know that the ingredients in the black pot have different colors, shapes and sizes, aromas and even smells, yet decide to come together and put aside all these differences to be able to be subjected to some amount of heating to produce one homogeneous product known as food for our nourishment. We must also understand that we have different colors, shapes, and sizes on the continent of Africa in the black pot. And because of that, we need to put aside all these differences so we can also represent the continent world by producing what? Development for our people, our continent, our land. We must be a tree planting generation, the Joshua generation. Yes, we know that we will not live enough to enjoy the shade of the trees, but we will not be selfish enough not to think about the next generation that will come and enjoy this shade. Remember, some other people planted trees that they never sat under, yet they did plant them, and we are enjoying the shade from those trees. My brother, my sister, this is the Black Pot, a.k.a. Kukushunamo, where we speak truth to power. And remember, in this segment, we never ever criticize. If we must criticize, though, we will, just to build, but not to destroy. People have asked me time and again, if you ever become a president in any country in Africa, what will you do differently? It's very simple. The problem of Africa goes beyond just roads and hospitals and schools. The biggest problem of Africa is the problem of the mindset. I will work on the mindset of my people. I will make sure that my people are liberated mentally. In fact, they have taken the chains off our hands and our legs, and those chains have been put right there in our minds. Whatever we do, We have to sit down for white people to come do for us what we can do for our own selves. The Willie Lynch syndrome is real. And that is what we have to fight. How would we do it? It's nothing but education. We have to unlearn some things and pick up the new values so that the new Africa will be strong and, of course, upright. This is the Blakk Pot, Kukushonemo, where we speak truth to power. And we are live on Pan-African TV, also live on Ghana Web TV, live on Loud Silence TV, live on our own TV, the Black Empire TV. My name, Blakk Rasta, and I'm most excited to be with you. Now, today we have a number of issues we need to look at. We're going to begin with one, and number one says what? Watch it, rolling, rolling, rolling. Taxing Ghana out of business. Yes, that is what is happening. Right now, taxes are increasing in Ghana. The government has no ideas. The government is totally dumb. The government has no new ideas. So what the government is doing is to tax people out of business. I am not the only person who has observed this. There's a guy called Awingobit. Now, Awingobit is here. That is his photographer. Now, he deals with the importers and exporters, blah, 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 of the country. And he has said something that I need to draw your attention to. What has he said? Watch the headlines from Ghana Web. You are taxing us out of business, importers and exporters to government. And this Awingobit. What is Awingobit saying? Come. I read, Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association says the current government has failed to deliver on its promise to transition Ghana from taxation to industrialization. From taxation to industrialization. It has failed. According to Samson Awingobit, the government has taxed businesses out of existence. And if precautions are not taken, more businesses will fail. Mr. Awingobit posited that Ghanaian businesses are struggling to survive. And as if that is not enough, it has approved the 2.5% increment in the value-added tax. He described the increment as insensitive to both businesses and consumers. We strongly believe that the government has been unjust to the business community. He said, I can tell you with certainty that since 2018, all of the promises they made to us have not been fulfilled. Their policies have derailed our businesses, eroded our interest, and impacted our capital. Samson Awingobit warned that in 2023, Ghanaians should be prepared to pay more for what they buy following the increase in the VAT. He said, if you want to know how this government has failed the community, just analyze this. Never in the history of Ghana have businesses in Kumasi and other parts of the country closed their shops in protest of an unfavorable business environment. Dash it away. Well, Awingobit has said nothing but the truth. Hear me now, brethren. Listen, already prices are rising. If I had my own way, prices should never rise in this country. Because when prices rise, no matter how favorable the economic situations get, the prices never come down again. It's an upward adjustment and it continues rising. The best you can do is to let the prices stay there. But to come down again, it's never happened in the history of this country, at least not under this government. Hear me now. The cedi became the worst performer against the dollar on the international market. The government has been able to do what is referred to as economic voodooism. Now, our brethren and sisters who live abroad have come home with their dollar. And the economy seems to be getting some new breath. Some other nuances and influences have come in to help the economy rise. My brother, my sister, we will not take any credit away from the government. Listen, they have been able to squeeze out liquidity from the system. And everybody was crying. Now the cedi is gaining some amount of strength against the dollar, yet the prices remain the same. When was the last time you went into the market to buy a loaf of bread? Now, after The Ghana cedi started gaining some kind of strength against the dollar. Have you returned to the market? Have the prices fallen? They said that trotro prices were going to come down by 15%. The best they did was a 10% downward adjustment. And even that is not with all of them, but some of the trotro drivers. Listen, apart from prices going high, the next thing the government has done is to increase taxes, especially VAT. VAT used to be 12.5. Now they have added 2.5. What is going to happen? We are going to have a 15%. Am I right? 15% VAT. And that is going to slap all the goods and services we have. Value added tax. Prices will continue to go high. So what have you achieved? Prices are going to continue. Listen, if the economy is dwindling, the best way to be able to give the economy a new breath is not taxation. Remember when they came with e-levy? They told us e-levy was going to be the savior. I remember Gabi Asari Ochredako, the pseudo prime minister of this country, telling the whole country in a tweet, if you don't allow e-levy, aka electronic levy, then we would have to go to the IMF and beg. Many Ghanaians did not like that, much as they hated the so-called e-levy. They allowed it. In fact, the majority, so-called majority in parliament, worked another voodoo when they went out fishing out which MP was outside and couldn't come, and they flew those MPs into the country to vote for the e-levy. Some of them were even asked from the surgeon's table. Somebody like Kennedy Ejapong, he was going through a major brain surgery, but they took him off the surgeon's table and brought him in because of a thumbprint to vote for the demonic E-level. We remember Ajua Safo, who was just beginning to gain more slangs, speaking like the American after just 4 or 5 months in America. My brother, my sister, they brought her in, and we all know the story that went around her, so disrespectful and all that. They had to pay some money into her account in order for her to feel reassured to come and vote for the demonic E-level. We also remember Honorable Atta, who was flown in all the way from Canada. These are MPs who are not serious. When the World Cup came, we saw the MPs who left Parliament. Parliament was sitting, yet they went out there to play football. They went to Qatar to watch the World Cup, and they were not ministers of sports or their deputies. No. They went out there to feel good. At the time the economy was dwindling, and at the time they should have their binoculars on to look at the economy. No, they were in Qatar enjoying the World Cup. No wonder they came home early. My brother, my sister, kings and queens, this is a very beautiful country, but we have dirty leaders with no common sense. Dirty leaders who are unpatriotic. Dirty leaders who think about their dirty stomachs and nothing else. So when I talk like this against them, I have no fear for them. The days of fear are all gone. Now we have reached a certain pedestal where if we do not fight, then we will perish with our children. It's better for a man to die in battle than to die cowardly in his room when others are at war. How many people agree with this? What Awingo Bit is saying is nothing but the truth. This country needs to be rescued. They have increased the taxes. I don't have any problem with taxes as long as the leaders are sensible. If the leaders have common sense and they can use the taxes properly so everybody can benefit from this, I have no problem. Even if we are paying 100% tax, I don't care. As long as it comes back to help the people grow. That's what taxes are supposed to be. It's like the tithe that they pay in church. If the pastor is seen blowing the money and doing nothing to support the church, why would people want to pay tax? It's the same way. If we pay our taxes to the government, and the government is only thinking about some luscious cathedral, some cathedral that will not help us, my brother, my sister, at least not in these times, you should know that this is an egotistical president who has no common sense to be able to lead these people. And when I use such words, I use them standing firm. Because these people have frustrated us and we refuse to be frustrated any further. To our king of it, I say, well, to God be the glory. You have the way out. Demonstrate. Make noise. Make sure that these things are reversed as long as they are not helping you. It's democratic, isn't it? Come and dash it away. Next thing I want to look at. And I'm going to look at it quickly. What does it say? Alhaji Asuma Banda revisited. Oh my God. Now we all know Alhaji Asuma Banda. We know him. Great statesman. He was the first in this country to ever own a plane. He was the first in the whole of Africa to own a ship. The first African to own a ship. Asuma Banda, he came all the way from Kintampo. That was where he was born. He used to carry cattle all the way from Mali, Niger, and those areas on foot, following them like a Fulani headsman, all the way to Kumasi to come and sell. He struggled in his life. In 1974, supposedly in London, Alhaji Asuma Banda met a pretty woman by name Cassandra. They got married, and that's Cassandra in the photograph. Traditional marriage, the Gonja style. A few months after, they decided to go to London, and this time around they dealt with the ordinance law, where their marriage was sealed and signed. 1974. And I remember that because that was the year I was born. Interestingly, down the line in 1991, Alhaji Asuma Banda met another woman by name Edwina Baba. And that's her. Fell in love with her, and then they decided to get married as well. They got married. Alhaji Asuma Banda is a Muslim. He's entitled to 4 women if he's capable. Muslims do not frown on polygamy. That's how come Alhaji Asuma Banda had 2 wives. But in between, he had 5 children. Now, according to his first wife, Cassandra, Alhaji Asuma Banda was involved in so many amorous relationships outside the marriage. He had 5 children, and we are told that he had children with Otunfo's sister. 5 in between. So all in all, Alhaji Asuma Banda has 12 children. 5 from his first wife, 2 from his second wife, and then 5 in between or outside the marriage. Now hear me now. Alhaji Asuma Banda has been sick for some time now, and we have seen women fighting. First wife and second wife. First wife says there's nothing like a second wife. The marriage was not properly done. The marriage was illegal, and so on and so forth. I decided to go into this, and I got some documents. In fact, the first wife, Cassandra, actually filed for divorce in London. She was fed up with Asuma Banda, did not want to be with Asuma Banda anymore, tired. Asuma Banda had been so promiscuous. Asuma Banda had been running after women left, right, and center, and he had gone to live with the so-called second wife after 2015. According to court documents, he had run away from his marital home and was living with another woman who he claimed he was married to. Now, according to the court documents, this second woman, Edwina Baba, was with Alhaji Asuma Banda, but was caught on several occasions dealing with other men. Alhaji Asuma Banda got angry and decided not to go to Edwina for 9 solid years. But in 2015, something happened. What happened? Alhaji Asuma Banda fell ill. Whilst he was with his first wife, Cassandra, he fell in the bathroom. And according to Alhaji Asuma Banda and the court documents that I am privileged to see, my brother, my sister, Cassandra wished him dead. She left him lying in the bathroom, and once in a while, she would peep through a certain keyhole to see if Alhaji was still breathing or dead. And when she did not feel any emotion, she came into the bathroom and kicked him to find out if Alhaji would move or not. And when she realized that he was still breathing, she called somebody in after a long period of time to carry him out to seek medical treatment. And when Alhaji recovered a little bit, he never returned to Cassandra again. He rather went to Edwina and was staying permanently with Edwina till now. Now, Alhaji's children with Cassandra, 5 of them, were not happy with this, especially the one that was handling Amtrak Airlines. You remember Amtrak Airlines? That got bankrupt and went down. Fadel was the one running Amtrak Airlines. Fadel Asuma Banda. Now, according to information that I have, so much money was pumped into Amtrak Airline, but all that money was blown away, and Alhaji started selling his houses and other property to be able to offset a loan he had taken to pump into Amtrak Air. And the loan was from Zenith Bank. I'm told it was about 400 million Ghana cedis. What happened? Amtrak Airline could not be saved. It went down. Boom. Now, court documents say Alhaji actually gave Amtrak Airlines to his first wife, Cassandra, and Fadel to run. But they couldn't run it because of poor managerial skills. And Amtrak Airline went down. Now he had to sell his property to be able to offset that loan. Now Alhaji had moved from Cassandra and was staying with his second wife, Baba. The children were not happy, especially with Fadel. They couldn't get access to their father anymore because the father did not really want to see Fadel anymore. Maybe because he had run down Amtrak. So Fadel arranged and brought some people who others will call tax. I will not call them tax. Friends maybe. Brought them to the house and they broke down the door. They broke down the door to Alhaji's house and abducted him. The matter is in court right now. My brother, my sister, all this is captured in the CCTV video I am about to show you. Open your eyes and watch. You will see that there's an ambulance coming from 37 Military Hospital, I am told, that was started to take Alhaji Asuma Banda to the hospital because Cassandra's children believed that he was not being taken very good care of whilst he was with Edwina. Watch the footage. Watch it. All right. All right. So this is the road to Asuma Banda's house. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. You will see some people coming from afar. You see somebody trotting, coming. Yes, yes, coming over. Coming over. You see another person is joining. There's a third person coming in. You see that. You see, watch properly and watch from far back. Many more people are coming. Where are they coming from? Are they in a car? Are they riding motorbikes? Did they walk? All of a sudden, there is an ambulance. Can you see the ambulance? From 37 Military Hospital, I'm told. Watch it. Now, many more people are behind the ambulance coming, all heading towards Alhaji Asuma Banda's gate. And watch it now. This is the ambulance entering into shot right now from a different angle. Watch it. Watch it. You see. You see. Now, the ambulance is parking. You can see the red lights at the back. It means it stepped on the brakes. Boom. Now, they are waiting to go into the house there and pull out Alhaji Asuma Banda. That day, he was abducted, and they carried him all the way to the 37 Military Hospital. At least, they took him to the hospital, where they would take care of him. You see, the car is about to reverse and trying. You see, it's trying to turn around, waiting for Alhaji Asuma Banda to be brought in there. But before then, these guys had gone to the house and they tried to break it. I'm going to show you footages of that as well. Very quickly. You see the car is going in there. The ambulance is going to pick Alhaji Asuma Banda. And it was all over in the news. He was abducted because the other family believed that Asuma Banda was not taken very good care of. And they needed to come in and take him away. Now, interestingly, on this day, he was carried away. But look at the interesting thing. They had tried to break down the gate. Let me show you that from the start. You will see that they were holding big stones, trying to break down this door, talking and shouting and all that. Show me that one. That's it. See? That's them. You can see the people in front of the gate. That's earlier in the day. You can see that it's not that dark. They are now gathered around the house. They're trying to find out, how do we enter, knocking at the gate to open it. Who is coming to open this gate? Nobody's opening. All right, we're going to break it down. And then they started planning, knocking at the door. Now, if I had the opportunity, I'll play you the voices around what was being said there. You'll hear names mentioned and all that. But once this is still under investigation, I'm going to spare you all that, but you will see that they're trying to enter the gate. And some of these images are online that you can actually see. They are not exclusive to Blakk RASTA. You will see all that, trying to break it and discussing, what can we use to break down this door? Okay, let's use a big block, something that is big. Now, if you keep watching this footage, you will see that, well, they brought in some big stones trying to break down the whole thing. Now, let me show you the last footage for now. Now, this last footage is when the police arrived. The people in the house decided to call the police, and the police came in. And when the police arrived, they decided to arrest one or two people. Show me that footage. You would see the police. You see, that is them trying to break it, holding a very big block. That's it. So if you hear the voices around, you would hear them talking. Yeah, we have to, like you see him swinging his arms. We all have to hold it and then count 1, 2, 3, boom. And we'll do that. This is the police footage. You see the man they are trying to force into the car is one of the people at the gate. He'll be slapped soon. Watch him. They'll give him a slap. Pam! He's received one slap from the police. And if you listen to the tape, you hear the police saying, "Get in. Go in there." It's one of the guys who came trying to break down the door and all that. The matter is in court. We have more footages we cannot show you because it's in court. But in the interim, this was what happened around Asuma Banda's house. In fact, I was told that they had been there twice or thrice trying to break down the door and get into the house and pick Alhaji. They succeeded in one case and took him away. Now the matter went to court, and then the court ordered that Alhaji Asuma Banda should be released to the second wife. And that was what happened. They carried Asuma Banda back to the second wife's house. Now what Alhaji Asuma Banda said was interesting. I'm going to show you another footage. When the people were trying to break down the place, the police had arrived, and the commander in charge went over to Alhaji Asuma Banda and asked him, "I hear one of your sons is here. It's called Fadel. Are you ready to meet him? Do you want to see him?" Listen to what Alhaji Asuma Banda said. Listen to what he said.
Papa, Mpacho, obe peso obe hun Fidos. Fidos.
I don't want to even hear Fadel.
Fadel, very good.
I was a Obia out to us. Whom what dear senior and young parents.
Very well.
When it was in Papa Sam Kumasina or Naso Vidia. A bonus you about crap, but no whole and son. Who years were my son's true, my papa. It's when you know I walk all the way through the Mopti. I'm a cotton fee. I'm a dear child. Doom for no heart. I'm fully from the including higher. Now, so about beer.
Dash it away. Well, I am so sad that we have to subject this old sick man to all this trauma. When my father was his age and I was about to go, we decided I would keep family away and just a very close family would be around him. I remember the doctor telling us, this is the lowest point of your father. If this is the image, the last image you want people to have of him, then open the doors. We refused. We kept him until he said bye-bye to us. Alhaji Asuma Banda is a very popular man, very famous. There's a tango, first wife, second wife. And remember, there are other women in the middle. Now, according to court documents, the first wife actually filed for divorce. And when you read her reasons, she said Alhaji Asuma Banda was so promiscuous, sleeping around, and that Baba was one of his numerous girlfriends. And she does not recognize her as a wife. When you read the court documents, she mentions everything in quotes that Alhaji Asuma Banda has. And from what she says the court should give to her, it will amount to about 70%. So she wants 70% of all the things that Alhaji Asuma Banda has. She said she helped Asuma Banda right from the start when they had nothing. Even when she was pregnant, she was helping, working in London and beyond to help them build this empire. Now that the empire is built, Alhaji Asuma Banda is selling the houses one after the other under the influence of the second wife. Now the court documents would also tell you that Cassandra, the first wife, is not happy because she said if she doesn't sit up right now, she will not get anything at the end of it all. But interestingly, we all remember one of Alhaji Banda's sons, Halim Asuma Banda. Remember the KOD Kiki Banson shooting at the office just around Cinderella? That night that Alhaji Banda's son fired shots and then they are still looking for him. We hear he's absconded and is in London. So he knows that on arrival, he's going to be arrested. So for that matter, he might not even come to Ghana to try and see the end of his father. Because as he's going right now, Alhaji Banda is an old man. If he goes today, it will not be a surprise to so many people because you should be lucky to reach this age. Alhaji Banda is 79 years old. Soon he's going to be 80. His second wife is 60. And his first wife has been married to Alhaji Banda for 48 years from 1974. Baba has been married to Alhaji Banda for 31 years now. There's a tango, two women fighting over superiority. Who is going to get what? Who is going to inherit what? But the big blow is this. Asuma Banda, does he have a will? Do you think a man like him will die interstate? If he was to write his will today, which of his wives would he give anything to? First wife? Second wife? Both? Neither? Is for you. Alhaji Asuma Banda, I dare say, has a will. What is in the will? Will he leave anything for his children? The first wife who divorced him or started proceedings to divorce him, would he leave anything for her? But what is the court saying about the divorce? Because she said she couldn't take it anymore from 2015. That when he left the house, he started behaving weird and she wanted out of the marriage. Today, she's not asking about leaving the marriage. She's looking at how she can get 70% of the things that Alhaji Asuma Banda has. And when you look at some of these documents, they are very interesting documents. They are all talking about Alhaji Asuma's health. They are talking about, who has custody of him right now from the hospital. These are the documents, and we have a lot more. In fact, sometimes when I look at those documents, I cry. Some of the things Alhaji Asuma Banda said, it's terrible. But interestingly, former President John Dramani Mahama visited the house. He visited the house. And when he went to Alhaji Asuma Banda, on the invitation of Alhaji's sisters to intervene so that there will be peace. Watch this. John Mahama visits ailing business mogul Asuma Banda after sisters' appeal and that's Alhaji. They talk nicely. And what does the story say? Let's look at it briefly. Former President John Dramani Mahama has paid a special visit to ailing Ghanaian business mogul Asuma Banda. Though details of the visit are scanty, pictures making the rounds on social media capture John Mahama and former Ghana High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Victor Smith, at the residence of the former Chief Executive Officer of Amtrak Air. John Mahama's visit comes after the sisters of Asuma Banda made a public appeal for him to intervene in the impasse that is preventing them from getting access to their brother. The sisters on December 7, 2022 told Rainbow Radio 87.5 FM that they were seeking the intervention of the president, the office of the former president, and the chief imam to resolve custody issues around their brother. Dash it away. I know that the chief imam was also supposed to be there. I was also invited. Am I not important? They wanted the president, former president, chief imam, former UK ambassador, and then that's Mahama, and that's the second wife, and that's Victor Smith. They went there. Then they invited me to. Who am I? That's me. Oh gosh. I was invited. And I got all the documents. From my research, I got many more documents. This is the house of Alhaji Asuma Banda. I went to see Alhaji Asuma Banda only 3 days ago. So all these things, I'm telling you, inside information. I'm yet to speak with Cassandra to hear her side of the story. But whatever it is, I pray that we are able to resolve this so that the family can be united again. The rivalry will be dissipated. The bitterness and the rancor can be dealt with in the interim. Spare the man a peaceful journey home. Let him live long. Alhaji Asuma Banda, does he have a will or not? I dare say yes, he has one. I know he has one. What is in the will? What is in the will? If things remain like this, your guess will be as good as mine. Who would be in the will? Who will not be in the will? We pray that there will be a strong and powerful resolution to this impasse. In the interim, this is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. We return. Wayo!
Blakk Pot, Kukushonamo. Blakk Pot, Kukushonamo.
This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk RASTA. Here we don't do politics. What we do is called patriotism. Next thing I want to look at. Come here. What does it say? Trump sued over a reggae song. Oh my God. Trump sued over a reggae song. Hey! Trump, the former president of America. There he is. Remember I made a song about this same Trump. Donald Trump, you too dumb. Everywhere you go, dum dum dum. Why you dum dum so? Everywhere dum dum. Oh my God, why you dum dum so? My God, I was in Guyana some years back, and I met with the president of Guyana. Yes, that's the president, President Grange. I met with him. We had a nice time. This was Guyana. Oh my God, interesting. I was an honorable visitor to that beautiful country, Guyana. Oh gosh, I went to Georgetown. I went all the way to Berbice and so many other such places. I love Guyana and I want to go back to Guyana. Then I met a singer in Guyana as well. I don't wanna dance with you, baby, no more. I don't wanna hurt you though. Eddie Grant, that's him. He told me so much about Kojo and Chia. He wanted to be in Ghana and so on and so forth. That's me in Guyana with Eddie Grant. Now I just realized that there is a suit against Donald Trump by my very good friend called Eddie Grant. That's Eddie Grant. He's British Guyanese. In fact, he has a whole house on an island right there in Georgetown, Guyana. He owns it. He's a national hero in that country. They love him. When this man is walking on the street, there's a stampede. He's a very humble man. He hardly talks. He gave me such wonderful hits like Joanna Give Me Hope, Electric Avenue. He even has a song for Kwame Nkrumah and all that. Such a great man. He says his life will be incomplete if he never comes to Ghana. But watch this, and this is from Dancehall Mag in Jamaica. It's Jamaica's biggest dancehall site. He says Donald Trump relents, testifies in Eddie Grant's Electric Avenue copyright lawsuit. Gosh, roll the guns. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has complied with a court-ordered disposition in relation to British Guyanese singer Eddie Grant's $300,000 copyright infringement lawsuit over the use of the superstar's reggae fusion song Electric Avenue in his 2020 election campaign. The court's order had come in April this year, almost 2 years after Grant filed a copyright infringement lawsuit against Trump in a federal court in Manhattan. According to an insider report, the information was revealed recently, 8 months after both Trump and Grant had been directed by the court to testify under oath by June 21, 2022. Electric Avenue singer Eddie Grant has accomplished something the January 6 committee and the New York Attorney General have failed to do, getting Donald Trump to answer questions at a deposition. The insider reported on Monday. Trump has sat for at least 3 other depositions in lawsuits against him this year. He pleaded the 5th some 400 times when forced to sit for questioning by New York Attorney General Letitia James, who was ready in a $250 million lawsuit alleging a long-standing pattern of business fraud, it added. Grant's $300,000 lawsuit was filed in 2020 after Trump's campaign used Electric Avenue, the singer's biggest international hit, in a Biden-bashing tweet during his re-election bid in the last U.S. presidential runoffs. Oh, you are. Electric Avenue, a sample from the song totaling 40 seconds, had been used as the soundtrack for an animation that was posted to Trump's Twitter account on August 12, 2020, which taunted then candidate Joe Biden, showing him pottering along on a slow-moving hand car as the Trump campaign barrels by in a high-speed train, according to the insider. It's time to pay, man. It's time to pay, man. It's time to pay, man. All right. So the animation, which more than 13.7 million times, was removed a month later But according to Grant's lawsuit, the tweet containing the video had been liked more than 350,000 times, retweeted more than 139,000 times, and had received nearly 50,000 comments, and had brought the singer's name into disrepute. It's clear. You use somebody's song to taunt and tease and insult another person. Now the guy says, you have put my name into disrepute. I don't do politics. People would think that I gave you the go-ahead to do that. But Eddie Grant, why did you go for $300,000? This should be a $300 million. This is a man who has been so fraudulent, as the Americans have said all this while. If he's used your thing for such a big campaign, then you go for how much? Chicken change, 300,000. Oh no. But Trump has come to testify, and it's interesting. Jesus have mercy. Listen. In our part of the world, copyright issues are not taken very seriously. Musicians die poor every now and then. Anybody can use your music to do adverts. It's just these days YouTube has been able to teach us something about copyright. You pick somebody's material, they flag it, or you have to explain why. And now, my brother, my sister, even a musician produces his own music, puts it out on YouTube. When he picks it up and goes on Facebook will flag it and say copyright. So this way, copyright issues will be respected. I remember when my Barack Obama song was also used by some politicians in Ghana here. And I came out vehemently against them and told them that, hey, listen, you cannot do that. That song is not for political campaigns. That song was made for one man and it's done. I don't want your dirty politics. I remember they told me that it was in the public domain and could be used anyhow in those days. My brother, my sister, I want to salute Eddie Grant, my very good brethren. Bring my photo on him again. I want to salute you, and I want to say that pursue this. But is there a way you can increase the amount? When you go after big fishes, you don't ask for chicken change like this. Well, my name Blakk Rasta, I want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you. When we return, dash it away. When we return, we shall do more. Hey! Whoa!
Blackpot. Coco shoulder, man.
This is the Blakk Pot. This is the Blakk Pot. And my name, Blakk Rasta. Blakk Rasta is my name. And I want to say thank you so much. Yes. Now the last story I would like to look at for today is interesting. Yes, I will not be long with this one. Stop building the cathedral for now. Stop building that cathedral for now. Now the president says those who are fighting him in his bid to build the cathedral are what? Sambalat and Tobias. He says that those people have the spirit of backwardness and delay. They don't have the progressive spirit. But we just realized that he has the spirit of Beelzebub, the dwarf that is so demonic. My brother, my sister. Now there's a chief who has spoken. And the chief is all the way from the BA. Come! Very handsome chief. And look at the things around him. I don't know if that's gold, because these days a lot of them paint them and then they wear them because of armed robbers and all that. But he's represented clean and strong. That's him. What is he saying? And who is he? Ghanaians want you to put National Cathedral project on hold. Domahine to Akufo-Addo. Roll the guns. Domahine Osajifo Oseadie Yo Ajiman Bedu the first. You want to hear that name again? Domahine Osajifo Oseadie Yo Ajiman Bedu the first has called on President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to put the construction of the National Cathedral of Ghana on hold. Domahine, who is the president of the Bono Regional House of Chiefs, said that the cathedral project cannot be a priority of the government, given the difficulties Ghanaians are facing. Osajifo Ajiman Bedu the first, while addressing the media, added that the project can continue once the country is out of the woods, and Akufo-Addo should not be the one who has to necessarily complete it. Kai, this man is wise. He's wiser than Ochihini. In fact, in the army of wisdom, this man is the general. Ochihini is a recruit. Hi! Listen to what he's saying. He's saying that, listen, we are still in the woods, Mr. President. Put it on hold. When we get out of the woods, it doesn't matter whether you are in power or not. The cathedral can be built by any other person, not necessarily you. What is spewing wisdom? Ochihini is vomiting and regurgitating rubbish. Ochihini says, we must build that cathedral or else the president will be shamed. And I sit back and I say, these days, some of our chiefs have no wisdom. It's sad. But yes, when they behave like that, we will talk to them like that. When they behave like that, we will talk to them like that. One of the things Ghanaians are asking me to talk to the president about is the National Cathedral. He, Akufo-Addo, swore to God to build a National Cathedral when he becomes president, which is a good thing. However, given the economic difficulties Ghanaians are facing around this time, the people have asked me to tell you, Akufo-Addo, to put the project on hold. It is your initiative. No one can take it away from you, but don't use the national coffers to build a cathedral. Tell him to focus on economic recovery so that in good time, when, even if he is not able to complete it, any of these brothers, as successors, could do so. That is what Ghanaians want me to tell you, he said in Tree. Meanwhile, Parliament's Trades and Industry Committee has suspended the approval process for an amount of 80 million allocated for the construction of the President's Cathedral. Tamale Central Member of Parliament Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, who disclosed the development to Accra-based Joy News on December 13, said the suspension would be in place till justification for the allocation is made. What the committee decided was that we cannot just approve this 80 million Ghana cedi. We must know how the other 339 million was spent. What did it constitute? Dash. My brother, the president wants to build a cathedral. The country is in crisis. His finance minister told the whole world that if we allowed him to have his way with the e-levy, electronic levy, for the first time in the history of this country, greed, he will not go to the IMF. The majority in parliament, the government in power, agreed with this man, and they decided to give him the go-ahead. He went ahead. By their political voodooism, they were able to pass the e-levy after twisting the hands and arms of the minority. Now the e-levy was passed. A couple of months down the line, they said the e-levy wasn't brewing enough pito, and that they needed something else. Shamelessly, the following day, the finance minister announced that he had been ordered by the president to start the process of getting a loan or help from the IMF. And we sat back and said, these guys are really incompetent. That is why some MPs are so mad at this finance minister. As they are mad at the finance minister, they should also be mad at the president. They are incompetent. They said that the e-levy was what was going to deliver us from the hands of the IMF. We gave them the e-levy. The incompetent blokes that they have proved to us that they are nothing but a group of urchins who have no respect for the ordinary Ghanaian. Today I was listening to a message by Kwame Nkrumah on the 26th, in fact 25th day of December in 1966, 10 months after he was overthrown. And that broadcast was from Radio Guinea. And what did Nkrumah say? Before I was overthrown, the cedi was one of the highest currencies in Africa. The standard of living in Ghana was one of the highest in the whole of Africa. And when I was overthrown, 10 months down the line, so many people have been sacked. Civil servants have been sent home. Unemployment is rife in Ghana. And the cedi is at its lowest point right now. Standard of living is lowest in Africa right now. Remember that before Nkrumah was overthrown on the 15th of January, another man was overthrown in Nigeria. Who was this man? Ahmadu Bello was shot and killed and thrown away. Ahmadu Bello. We also saw the first prime minister and the only prime minister of Nigeria shot and killed in that 15th January coup. 1966. A month later, it was the turn of Kwame Nkrumah. We saw Sir Ahmadu Bello shot and killed. Abubakar Tafawa Balewa shot and killed by soldiers. It threw Ghana into total disarray, and the Christmas was one of the worst in the whole world. Today, how different is this Christmas from the Christmas in 1966? The cedi is still struggling to get out of the woods. They tell us that the cedi is gaining power against the dollar, yet the prices remain the same. Unemployment all over the place. Today, some of us cannot even receive calls anymore. When family and friends call us, we are unable to answer. Because the moment you answer the call, the first thing you hear is, missing. The next thing after the is, oh, what is happening? Then an array of problems. Oh, your uncle died, oh, hunger killed him. Your brother is also sick, oh. Your sister, the husband has divorced her, oh. There's no money. Everywhere. Chaka, 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 chaka. You can only do to a certain point. You can't solve everybody's problems. So at a point when you realize that you need time to look at yourself, there's nothing you can do. You put your phone aside and sit back and just give your life to God. And say, God, I've done up to what I can do. The rest is in your hands. Take the wheel. My brother, my sister, what topic are we looking at? I need you to look at it again and open your eyes and ponder. Stop building the cathedral for now. With all these problems that I mentioned, Mr. President still believes that the cathedral has to be built. Economic crisis, I don't care. Build the cathedral. And if you don't agree with him, his chief in Chebi says that you are witches and wizards. One of his dumb MPs would also say that, oh, the youth, they don't have brains, they are full of coconuts. They have coconuts on their heads. And the president himself shamelessly will say that you are Sambalat and Tobias. He has forgotten that he is the shortest president this country has ever had. In fact, if anything at all, he is Beelzebub. To God be the glory. I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. Continue believing in Ghana. Never relent. Move on. Don't rest on your horse. Push on. When it is hard, the victory will be sweeter. We shall get these people out of power by hook or crook. And by hook or crook, I mean either by the ballot box or by impeachment or by a divine hand. God is the Almighty. I thank you. I appreciate you. Our numbers are scrolling on the screen. Please pick the numbers and do business with us. These are difficult economic times. We need your businesses to grow so you will get better. We won't charge you so much. Just talk to us. Tell us what business you're doing. Then we can advertise your business. The more you grow, the more we grow too. Do not enter into the new year with a dead business. Let us be that lifeline to your struggling business. This has been the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk RASTA. Wayo!